Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Daily Keepsakes with Janice Mary. I'm Janice Mary and I'm a licensed psychotherapist, and I decided to start this channel because I had an amazing experience connecting to my soul, and I just enjoy so much learning all its wisdom and sharing it with everyone. So today I wanted to talk about the post that I wrote today, and if you'd like to read it, you can read it on my Daily Keepsakes community Facebook page, which is at the top of the banner if you just want to hit on it. And it was about breathing easy with the soul. The soul helps us so much to relax into the moment. I found it very difficult to live in the present moment until I really was able to go into the energy of my soul. I feel like sometimes we have two voices that live within us, and one is the ego voice and one is the voice of our soul. And of course the ego voice is very loud and has a lot to say, and a lot of what the ego voice, the ego mind likes to say is kind of negative. So I much rather talk to the voice of my soul, because the voice of my soul happens to be very loving and very kind and very accepting. So it's my goal and my hope that you be able to listen to that quieter voice that lives within you, so that you can settle down and you can settle into your being, so that you know that everything about you is perfect, everything that you think is right on target, everything that you feel is fine. The biggest thing with the soul is no judgment, but the soul does want us to help us out of those painful, difficult feelings, because even though they're true of this world, they're not really true of the bigger picture. And that's where we want to go. We want to go to the bigger picture. We don't want to be so limited in our ego mind. And when we stay in just in our ego mind and we don't expand into our soul, into our spirit here, then we can feel very limited and we can feel very stuck. So it's my hope that you learn how to get into this energy. So in the post today, I was just talking about breathing into the energy, to take a nice deep breath and to feel the soul energy within you. To me, it feels like very vibrational and very much like an ocean breeze, something that is just very relaxing, and I can feel it within my body. So I want you to just try to focus inside in your body and see if you can kind of connect to it, if you can kind of connect to that energy. And what does it feel like to you? What does this energy feel like to you? Is it a tingling? Is it a vibration? Is it just movement inside your body? Is it warm? Is it like cool? What does your soul feel like to you? Because it's energy and it lives, your body houses it. So you are connected to it. It's just the only way that you can have access to it is when you become aware of it and when you let it talk to you. So once you're feeling that energy, you can ask it questions. You can ask questions of the soul as if you were talking to another person. But this person is going to have very, very different answers for you. This person, this energy, is going to talk to you in a very different way than the ego talks to you. So I want you to get used to hearing differently. If you hear anything negative, you know that's the ego mind. You know that that's not your soul. Your soul is never going to say anything negative, anything mean, anything critical. It's just never ever going to do that. So you kind of have to get used to being talked to that way, being loved and being cherished. You kind of have to get used to that thought first, that is even possible, that there is something within you that is going to make you aware of that. It's not like your soul is having an actual conversation, but you do start to feel that energy, and that knowing does feel like a conversation. In one of my earlier videos on the love language of the soul, affirmations, I did put a whole bunch of affirmations in that post, in that video, and you can take those affirmations and you can write them down and you can put them on little strips, and every day you can pull one out, and that could be your message from your soul. And I would definitely recommend you do that. I'll list the affirmations on this video too, because it's so helpful to get used to hearing loving and kind words. And the ego mind is not going to talk to you that way, and you're not going to hear those kind of words from the ego. So you have to almost help yourself hear that kind of language that's going to help you in your life. So I would definitely try to do that, or pick any book that is a loving book, and you can just open up the book, and to whatever page it opens up to, that's what your soul wants you to know for that day. So for today, what you can do, when you're feeling into the energy, is to close your eyes, take a nice deep breath, feel into that energy, and then just ask your soul a question. Really feel that energy. I'll do it with you. It's a very subtle energy. It's a very quiet energy. And as you feel it, just ask your soul, what is it that you need to hear today? What is it that you need to hear? And see what message comes. It could be a feeling. It could be a feeling of love. It could be a feeling of support. Or it could actually be a message of some sort. But that's what you do to connect to your soul. You just stop. And you feel into the energy. And you wait. And you can ask a question. Or you could just be present. And in the presence of this energy, you start to know and feel things that you didn't know before about you. So just give yourself that time just to sit with me right now and feel into that energy. What does it feel like? The more I focus on this energy, the stronger it gets. So as I'm sitting here with you, it's getting stronger and stronger. And it comes in from the top of my head, and then it kind of radiates down my body. And when I'm feeling this energy, I'm not thinking anymore. I'm not worrying, I'm not thinking. The ego mind is silent, is pretty silent, which is amazing for that ego. I'm not thinking about anything. And that's the energy you want to live in your day, because then you're not thinking, you're not worrying, you're not analyzing, you're just letting yourself be. And the most beautiful thing that the soul gives us is the ability to be back into pure experience, like our animals are in pure experience, or everything around us is more in pure experience except us, because we have the thinking mind. So it's so important to go into this energy so that you don't have to fight with the ego. You don't have to listen to the ego mind. You don't have to do what it says. You don't have to try to please it. You don't have to fight with it. If your ego mind is putting you down or is telling you you're not good enough in some way, you just don't believe it. And not believing it is such a relief. And it's easy to not believe it when you're in this energy. When you're not in this energy, it really does take a hold of you and makes you feel not good enough, and makes you feel like your life isn't okay as it is today. It makes you feel like there's something more you have to do. Or it makes you feel like the people in your lives, that they have to do more to make you happy, or make you fulfilled, or make you feel safe. When we're in the ego mind, it puts a lot of pressure on ourselves first, and then it puts a lot of pressure on the people we live with. because the ego is always telling us that we don't have enough and we're not good enough. So then we start asking people around us to help us believe that we are enough and that we're good enough. So if another person could make me believe that I'm enough by their attention or by their love or by what they're doing for me, then maybe I'll feel okay. If the people in my life aren't doing that, then it's very painful. I could feel very unloved and very unsafe. But in the soul energy, you don't feel any of that. You feel loved and you feel safe. And you no longer burden your relationships. You're not looking at your partners for what they can give you or what you need from them. There's no more need because you don't feel bad. You know, needs in relationships come from the feeling of not feeling good enough. So if I don't feel loved by another person, that has nothing to do with what the other person is doing or not doing. It has to do with how I feel about me. And that's why a lot of therapists and a lot of schools of thought say you have to love yourself before you can be in a relationship. And to some extent, that's really true, but it's really hard to get there on your own. You really have to, or you could go in this energy of your soul so that it is not so much work. You don't have to convince yourself that you're okay. You don't have to, dress a certain way, be a certain way, exercise, be successful. You don't need any of those things to feel good. But the ego will tell you you're not good enough unless you have all those things and more. So the ego is very insatiable. And our soul is satisfied. Our soul is satisfied with our being and who we are. And the soul doesn't ask anything from you except for you to just be and to be happy and to enjoy this moment. We don't know how many moments we'll have in life, and the soul is right with us, trying to help us to move into things that we like to do, things that we like to create, to be with the people we want to be with. The soul is not really for us sacrificing. The soul's not about sacrificing. So look at the affirmations. I'm going to also post them in this video description. So if you want to look at the affirmations and cut them out and then every day pick one, it's there for you. Or if you want to use your own affirmations, just pick one every day because that is the language of the soul. And realize you do have these two voices within, and one is very harsh, controlling, and critical. And the other voice is quieter, yet very powerful and very strong, and can open up many, many doors for you. So when we think about it that way, which one would we want to choose? We want to choose the one that is going to give us an unlimited life, a life that we feel like we can do anything we want to do because we have the support and we have the love. So, voice number one, voice number two, the voice of the soul is much, much nicer, and we would all pick it if we heard it louder. Unfortunately, this energy is a subtle, loving energy, and we have trained our ego voice to be so, so strong because we've believed in the ego voice unnecessarily. So I believe it's really time for us to stop believing that ego voice because it's only telling you that you're not good enough and that you can't do things. And that is not true. So we have to really encourage ourselves to stay in the soul energy so that we can believe in ourselves and can really help ourselves through each day and all the things that we have to go through in our life. So I hope this helps for today. Just a little reminder to go back into that soul energy. And again, that soul energy is not in the past, it's not in the future, it's not in your mind, it's not in your thinking. The soul is an energy, and it's the energy in your body, and it's something the more you give attention to, it will grow within, and you'll get very accustomed to it, and you'll feel it, and you'll be able to hear its wisdom, and you'll be able to talk to it and get information. It's an amazing thing. It's a magical thing to be able to ask this energy a question, and at some point during the day, whether it's right in that moment or the next, you get an answer. The soul has never left me a question not answered. I just have to make sure that I'm in the space that I can hear it. And the space that you can hear it is not in your mind. It's more in that relaxed, non-thinking state of mind. So I hope this helps today. Really try to feel that energy within and let me know how you're doing. List any questions or comments or anything below. And I hope you have a very, very soul-centered, loving day. Take care.